morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamilov. Like always, back to you on a Tuesday after another up Monday. And it's funny, I was thinking about it on the way in. If we go back a bunch of Mondays, all the biggest moves for the market happen on the weekend for whatever reason, off of some kind of news or whatever. But markets had a very big day yesterday, the kind of day you would have pretty much if you did a trade deal, a full trade deal. So I don't, it was off of the premise that they had a constructive meeting. The Nasdaq was up almost 2%, S&P up one and a quarter. Market rolling again a little bit this morning, which is kind of surprising. There's a lot of cross currents out there, and I think market is priced for utter perfection. And it's interesting how volatility has dropped off the planet, really, and there is no vol. Everything is fine, and we got the Fed meeting tomorrow. So today is sort of, obviously an up day. They want to buy again. So the market's up this morning, but really kind of a potential free day in the sense that there's not going to really be any news out of Asia probably till Thursday when he meets Xi. I don't know what is scheduled or what they think is going to happen. But I'm assuming the market thinks there'll be a full trade deal. But what that trade deal is, nobody even understands. And, I think if they take the tariffs off 55 and go down to 20, I mean, that puts us at a worse position than we were at before this whole thing happened. I like keeping the tariffs at 55, make some money, make these guys feel a little bit of pain, but I guess that's not really in the cards for the market. The market is perceiving everything to be good. Interesting today, ADP came out with some ridiculous payroll number that they created 15,000 jobs, which doesn't sound like a lot with like 300 million people for the last 4 straight weeks. So that's 60,000 jobs. It's not a lot, but everybody's looking for this negative payroll number and it's not coming. So my question, you've been saying for a couple of weeks, the Fed's going to cut because of weak job numbers, but do we really even have weak job numbers? We've never printed a negative number. And off of what we're seeing today, which may or may not be true, that number wouldn't have been negative last month. So what is the weakness that they're seeing? We have, even at 3% on CPI, that's way too high. That's like 3.6 annualized, right? And you know, uh, that's way too high. And job growth is still there, and the market is, you know, listen, say what you wish. The market is frothy, and I'll throw it to you in a second. But I just thought it was very interesting. Cathie Wood was on yesterday, who's the ridiculous bull who in 2022 incinerated her entity. She's been making a slight comeback over the last couple of years because technology has gone ballistic. Um, you know, and you know, she's very, very bearish on AI.
That is surprising. I don't know where you saw it. You got to send me that article.
It's on CNBC.
Uh,
It's on
okay.
CNBC. It's the lead story. ARK Invest CEO flags AI correction risk. We think there will be a reality check coming. So
Wow.
Cathie
Wow.
Wood acknowledged the prospect of a reality check in AI valuations, but rejects fear of a bubble. I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. It's not a bubble, but we're going to go down.
She acknowledges high prices. That means she's in acknowledgement of high prices.
Okay. Okay. So whatever.
As you mentioned her,
Listen, this
I
woman,
imagine,
what was that?
yeah, as you mentioned her, I imagined you and her on CNBC going at it like the
No, I
ultimate
think she's
bull.
not bullish. That's what the scary part is here. I mean, that woman was bullish. He said Tesla was going to 10 million. You know, she's got targets on every one of these stocks. She was the one that bought all of these. I forgot what they were. There were these gaming stocks. I forgot the freaking name of one of them, but it went from like 200 to zero. I mean, that was, you know, what's funny? Inside of this crazy bull market that we're running, there have been times where these sectors have gotten annihilated. I forgot the name of that gaming stock, but it was supposed to be the greatest thing ever, and you were gonna gamble on your phone playing video games, and the stock went to zero. Um, I forgot what it was called, but anyway, you know, we rode that a little bit down to zero. Um, you know, that was 2023 story, 2022, but overall, you know, the market just continues to go higher, and, you know, I'm looking at the futures and it's a mind blowing number at 69,000, uh, you know, 17. I know we're going to 7,000, then we're going to 8,000, and we're going to 9. I mean, it is just an amazing, amazing move, with no fear and no nothing can happen. And, you know, tomorrow we start to hear from the Fed, and I don't know. How could they come out, you know, and aggressively try to cut? I mean, aggressive isn't a quarter, but cut rates. Like, what is this rate cut? Isn't this a throwaway rate cut? I mean, you don't feel like this is a throwaway rate cut that they don't even need? Why do they need to cut rates right now? The market's steaming along,
You're
not
looking at
going,
this is what they're
steaming.
looking at right here. This is what they're looking at: jobs growth. You see the chart.
Okay, so what? You think cutting a quarter is going to do one thing to jobs growth? Come on. Cutting interest rates doesn't, I mean, maybe that helps in the housing market or whatever. That's not going to help. Cutting a quarter is
I'm
not going
already
to.
kind of. I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing it a little bit in the percentage of mortgages taken out that are refis. So there's an uptick in refis. So I'm starting to look at some real estate stuff.
Rates
But
have
another rate.
rates haven't moved, dude. I mean, listen, the rates are at 399. They got up to 403 yesterday. They got down to 496. You know, on an outside up, maybe we get to 375, but that's just too low rates for a Fed funds basically at 375. And the quarter point at the end of the year, even though you're saying it's 100% priced in or 80% priced in, I'm not so sure. I mean, the Fed, I don't know. The Fed has screwed up so many times here that for them to screw up again with this would be crazy. Why? Listen, each rate cut is a silver bullet in your gun. Okay, you don't, at 3 3/4. How many silver bullets do you have? I mean, rates below 3 is crisis levels. Okay, over the history of time, average Fed funds is over 5. Okay, so if we go down to 3, that's cataclysmic. That means there are major issues in the economy and major issues, you know, just in general in the world. And how do you see us being at anywhere where we need Fed funds at 3%? The problem is everybody got drunk on rates being at zero. And they think that they should be there. And, like, I just think that the Fed has silver bullets in their gun, and why use them right now? That's my question to you. Why does the Fed need to use a bullet right now? Just tell me what the reason is.
I just told you.
Jobs growth? Do you think cutting a quarter is changing jobs growth? I
I
doubt it.
don't. This is what
Doubt
they're
it.
citing. This is what they're afraid of. They're trying to get
They're not telling you
inflation.
they're afraid of that at all. If when they come out tomorrow, they're not even gonna. I'll bet you they don't even freaking address that or whatever, because how can they? They
Maybe
don't
they
even
will.
know what.
What's the bet? What's the bet? Put a dollar amount.
Whatever you want. You think they're going to come out and say we're cutting rates because of jobs
Like
growth?
500 dinners.
Eric, they don't have the number. So how could they use a number they don't have? They haven't seen a jobs number in a month, more than a month. Okay,
So what do you
and
think happened?
the
What do
last
you think?
jobs number, was still a positive number, and now they're saying ADP turned positive. So I don't know. I'm not listen. I'm not
Yeah,
understanding
I don't
the
know.
rate
I don't
card.
know about ADP and a correlation to the NFP number that
We're
we
not
have
going to
every month.
see. We're
They're
not
always
going to see
different.
an NF. We're not going to see a non-farm payroll for at least probably another month. Who knows? I mean, the government isn't close to opening, so they haven't seen any data other than a CPI that was kind of rigged, and they needed to get it out quickly because they do some cost of living adjustment or whatever. But no one's looking at the government shutdown. But over the weekend, people on food stamps no longer receive money. Do you think that's a problem? I'm just wondering. That's fine. Like everything else, that's fine. You don't want to feed the hungry people that need it for their family. They're not going to be getting food stamps. I'm just what do you mean okay? That's fact. So, the jobs numbers whatever. The government is shut down, nobody cares. Okay? It doesn't matter. Like it's weird. I'm just telling you it's weird that the market has ripped up in the middle of a government shutdown, which cannot be positive, okay? Over time, okay? There's no end in sight. How is there an end in sight? Tell me what the end in sight is.
There's no end.
Right.
There's
So
no
why
end.
is it good that the government shut for 2 months straight? We're already basically at the longest shutdown in history. Nobody even mentions it or cares, right? But now it's really affecting common people. And, the market keeps rolling on and, there's a lot going on. I mean, the one trade that,
What is that telling you that the market keeps rolling on,
that
despite
nobody,
the constant wall of worry that is built
what wall
brick
of
by brick?
worry? What wall of worry?
And like
You've had one down 2.5% day in 6 months.
worry
What's
right
the
there that
wall of
the
worry?
market, you know,
What's the wall of worry? I'm trying to understand what's the wall of worry. Explain to me. I think it's the opposite of a wall to worry. It's a wall to greed. Why are you laughing? It's a wall to greed. Who's
funny.
worried? I'm just trying to understand who's worried. Listen, I'm bearish. You know how many puts I'm short net? I don't sell them
Right.
naked. Spread 600. Okay. I mean, come on, dude. This is, this is clownness. You know the market can't go down because it's rigged. It's rigged to go higher, you know. And basically right now, especially coming into the Fed, and maybe they'll sell off later or whatever they're gonna do, but coming into the Fed right now, you're not going to have a trade situation because you got to wait till Thursday to see, that, fakeness of them, getting together, shaking hands, hugging, doing an amazing trade deal that isn't going to last probably till he lands in the United States. I don't know. You're going from suing China in U.S. court, raising tariffs to 155 to a week and a half later, everything is okay. Don't you find there to be a problem? I'm just wondering. No, there's no
So
problem.
you clearly think there's a bubble and it's gonna pop pretty soon. I'm just wondering. You traded through 1999. Do you even remember? Was there even uh, like a distinct needle that popped that balloon? Like what
No,
was it that
different.
popped it?
It's a weird, different market. So I'm glad you kind of asked me that because I remember it really well, really, really well. And people on this podcast that I know are on traded with me during that time. So they are my witnesses, okay? And
What was it? Was there a distinct event? Was there,
no,
you know,
no,
a period?
it was a different market. This is a contrived, I know it sounds crazy. It's a contrived rig, okay? Meaning the market is rigged to go higher and do it in a way other than they took the wheels off the bus for one day since April. One day where we were down 2.5%. One day off of, you know, China BS stuff. If you look back, all of this stuff is BS, okay? But they took it off the rails one day. during the whole thing. The difference between this market now today and 1999 into 2000 is volatility. There were days, every day was crazy. I'm telling you, like this is the opposite of crazy. This is just grind higher, grind higher, grind higher, go through gamma, take people out. Like I'll give you an example. This shows you the fraudulent nature of the market. So last night, there's something called market on close imbalances. They used to work really well. They used to work really well in individual stocks. They don't work at all anymore because they're fake. But last night I got hit at 345 with 6.5 billion to buy, which, an average night is 300 million. Okay. 400 million. So this is 20 times bigger. Okay, that's why the market was grinding up all afternoon, right? Because these guys thought there was stock to buy, right? Literally in 15 minutes, that pairs off to nothing. Okay, but they basically, um, they basically rig the market up, and it's every night. Every night this goes on. Billions to buy shows up and then disappears. So my thought is like this is the anatomy in my mind of a controlled rigged market. They lost control maybe 2 days in the last 6 months, but we're getting close to, I believe, getting to some sustained volatility. And the only problem that I see is you got the Fed tomorrow, right? So everybody's thinking, the Fed is going to be dovish. They're cutting now. They're going to cut the end of the year. I'm not in that camp. But here's the one problem you have with tomorrow's trade. So Fed comes out at 2 o'clock with the rate cut. Then they have the presser at 2:30. Okay. But now you're waiting on Trump to meet Xi, which I think the timing of that may be before the market opens potentially on Thursday. I don't know because, obviously our day is their night. So if they're meeting Thursday, I mean, I don't know if you have it on your schedule, but I would think that it's going to be early in the day, because the day is night here. Like 3 in the morning is basically the afternoon there. So I don't know when they're scheduled to meet. We'll definitely have that for everybody tomorrow, but I'm
So are
just
you looking for a negative outcome, positive, somewhere in
I'm
between?
looking for a more muted outcome off the Fed than you would generally see, because everybody's waiting for this trade deal to be signed. Like I think they believe that they're going to have a full signed trade deal on Thursday. Okay, and even if they do, I'm just trying to understand what's so good about that. No one
Well,
even knows
the
what
market is not pricing in November 1st. They're pricing in for some reason November 10th. So I that seems to me that they're just going to kind of shake hands, agree to the overall framework, and then
But what
possibly
is it? But my question is,
hold
what
up,
is?
hold up, and then another week and a half until November 10th. Why would Polymarket be pricing?
Oh wait, you think Polymarket knows more than Trump? They picked November 10th. Like, I mean, come on, dude. They're just giving a window of time.
Yeah,
It could come
Polymarket
that day.
has known more than a lot of traders out there. I mean, they've been spot on with a lot of outcomes.
Eric,
Even betting against
time out.
Trump
Time out.
systematically has been a good strategy.
Time out. You think Polymarket is made up of guys like me and you making markets? That's what Polymarket is. Okay, so you're thinking that they know more than what Trump knows of what he's going to do. I mean, they're just throwing a date out there to make a betting line. That's all. It's just a betting line. They could have picked November 20th. They could pick any day they want. There's not a date certain on November 10th. They're basically saying, hey, we're giving you this bet, okay, which this is all it is a bet, okay. It could come as early as Thursday, but if it doesn't, we want to clear the air and give it 10 more days. Okay, so you on your bet, you don't only have tomorrow, you have 10 more days. So I mean, I don't think that's an actual date.
Maybe we're looking at it like, I don't know, maybe November 1st is not the day where it's all finalized.
I don't think anyone fully knows, especially Trump. How would he know how it's going to play out?
But what I
But
will
either,
tell you, G never meets anybody ever unless he knows that there's a deal at hand.
dude, you don't even know if they're meeting for a handshake. You don't know what they're meeting for. You don't know if they're sitting down for 10 minutes or an hour. It's not going to be that long. They're not going to sit down for hours and hours. They're at a summit. Okay. So I don't believe they're going to sit down for hours and hours. Maybe they will, but how are those two leaders hashing out a deal? Like I'm not quite sure. You have all the
Yeah,
underlings.
they don't hash out anything. They're not going to sit there and like maybe one or two biggest points, you know, of the
And
deal.
then let's say now let's talk. We're on the other side right now of the meeting. It's now Thursday night or whatever. They do whatever. They do a framework for a trade deal. They're going to do a trade deal, whatever. Okay. What what I'm asking you is what's so good about that? Okay, when we've waited 8 years and had 80 of these different fake trade deals. This isn't the first time for this. This is like the 18th time. Okay. So what's going to happen is they're going to have a framework. It's going to be the same thing that happened with the UK, that happened with the EU, that happened with India, that happened with Canada, Mexico. Like they had full negotiated trade deals that have remained basically unsigned. So, like, listen, it's a photo op, it's a good thing. I just think
Right, it's a good thing. You just said it. It's not a bad thing.
that
Right.
they're meeting, it's a good thing, but it's not anything. Dude, they went from hating each other a week ago. China's the worst axis of evil, and now he's a great guy. I mean, come on, you've seen this. Let me ask you this. Let's get to a little bit of another topic, okay? Then I want to get to markets. Okay. Trump basically said he was going to blow Hamas off the face of the planet. Okay. They have not returned the dead hostages. They have not disarmed and they haven't done anything. So I'm trying to understand how people can believe he's going to do anything when he's never done anything. The guy has literally never done anything. He basically tacos out on every single thing. Like here, what's he going to do? He put the screws to China. Now he's going to fold and just agree to everything they want. I mean, come on, dude. The United States called this trade meeting 100%. 100% they called the meeting. And think about this. He got pissed off that Canada ran commercials about Reagan and what Reagan thinks about tariffs, which are true. Okay.
That was funny. That I'll give you. All the other stuff, I don't know, but
What
that
are you
was actually
talking about? He tariffed them instantly 10%.
that
So
was
if
funny.
he was, but I'm just saying, why didn't he tariff China 155% that day? Make them feel the pain, make them
Well,
feel the
you have
heat.
to have rare earth to prolong the AI trade.
Dude, we'll be fine without their rare earth. I promise you. Okay. I promise you. Okay. Think what you want. I
Not with
promise.
all the demand that needs to be filled. Not with all the
Eric,
demand.
they're not giving us their rare earth the same if they don't want to. The same way they didn't buy soybeans, and the same way they didn't honor any deal. They're not giving it. Why would they
That's
give
going to be
it?
a problem. That would be a big problem, right? If they
Why?
don't.
Why?
But what I will
Why do
tell
they
you,
want us to advance faster than them in AI? They want to be the kings of AI.
they
They don't
do
want to
100.
give us their resources. Why
But it's
would
very
they?
difficult. It's very difficult to overtake us in chip capability. It's not as easy as you think. There's
I'm
a
not.
lot of moving
They
parts
don't
there.
have to be number one in chips. They could be number two and be just fine. I'm just telling you, just
Their
fine.
level, their chips are on like they're on the level of 2022. They're like 3 years.
Okay. Listen, you can say what you want. All I can tell you is with electronic products, they're so far advanced to us that it's not even funny. Okay. Now, maybe in chips, NVIDIA is a little bit more advanced. Okay. But right now, if China said, hey, we want to buy NVIDIA chips, okay, blah, 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 that deal would happen in 2 seconds, dude. 2 seconds. They're the ones saying they don't want the chips. Okay. They're the ones that have said they don't want it.
They could say
Okay.
whatever they want, but they do want the chips. They
Okay.
need the chips
Okay. Whatever you
to
say.
run.
Okay.
Yeah, to train their models, they're going to need those
Well, let
chips.
me ask you this. Are we happy with what China's doing?
I don't think
Honestly.
anybody is. I
Okay,
think
so then why aren't we
we're
tariffing
trying
them?
to get to a
Why aren't
point
we
where
tariffing them harder? Why are we not tariffing them harder? I'm just trying to understand
I
why.
thought you disagreed with tariffs from the get go. Now you want to tariff them harder?
I don't believe tariffs are a good thing long term, but if you're going to throw it out there, why not do it? Why not do it? If you're going to throw it out there, why not do it? What are you afraid of?
That's a negotiating style. I don't know. I don't
Why?
know what goes on behind closed doors there, what
Dude,
conversations they
if
have.
you and I both
What I
listen,
will tell you is for the first time during this whole tariff negotiation process, China actually came out with some positive statements about the deal. They were like, we like the framework. The world needs to make sure to uphold the deal, is what they came out with over
okay,
the
so then let's get past the deal. They do the deal on Thursday. What does that mean for the market? Now you're at
that
20% tariffs, not 55. You don't know if they're going to honor the deal, and it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. And my question is, why is it so hard for the United States to do a deal with the EU or UK or Mexico or Canada? Like, I don't understand why we're so focused. You just said they don't have chips, they can't help us in chips. Okay, so what is it that we want from them? Like, I'm not understanding that's more important than Canada, Mexico, which are right next to us, not a world away. Like if something goes on a cargo ship right now in China, it takes months, it takes weeks and weeks to get here. Okay. You got a trading partner that's sharing your border. Okay. I'm just lost. That's all I could say.
I
So
mean, you want
I,
from
I
them,
would like this trade
write
deal.
pages and pages about what we want from China that they're not doing the right way. You could
Okay.
start from
And we're
IP
going to
theft.
make them do it the right way. We own them. We're going to
You
make
know
them
what?
do
You're
it the
right.
right
You're right in the sense that, in the sense, like, how are we going to make sure that they uphold the deal? Because they're notorious for not abiding by the deal.
way. Eric,
Notorious.
can I'm just going to leave it like this and then I want to go on to markets because there's a lot to talk about today. I would just say this, okay? Donald Trump, although I'm hearing he's going to change the Constitution and he's going to run as the vice president, and then the president is going to cede the power to the vice president. He'll be the president again in 2028. I mean, that's the
Oh, like
game.
Putin and Medvedev.
Well, I'm just saying that's the
They
game
pulled
plan.
that. Yeah.
That's the game plan. So let's say he does do it again, then China's slow playing won't work. I doubt he will. He'll be 80, what, 85? I mean, he'll be older than my mother. So at some point, you're going to need to change. Maybe you have Vance or whoever is going to come in, but China has a calendar in Xi's office, and they're like, okay, Trump literally has 3 years left and they may lose the midterms. Okay. So really, he has a lot less than 3 years. Okay. He may have 1 year left. So my question to you is why would China not slow play this? They got the Ming dynasty for zillions of years. They're slow playing this, dude. I'm telling you, none of this stuff, whatever they decide to do, is going to really go through. They're going to yes this guy to death, and basically this is where we sit. So, we'll keep an eye on that. But I want to get to markets. Obviously, big Fed meeting coming. Bond market sitting at about 4% on the 10-year. Um, I don't have a position there. I think yields go higher potentially. I don't think they have a lot of downside. I just don't. And my thought is maybe he's not as aggressive with a December. I'm just trying to understand why he's using the bullets. Why is he using his bullets? That's my question. Market's at a record high, economy's chugging along, everything looks fine on the surface, right? Really, they're concerned mostly the Fed with equity prices that they keep stability. They're losing stability to the upside, obviously, as you can see with the market ripping every single day. Why are they so apt to cut rates? I know you keep saying jobs. I can't be the singular reason. And those numbers have never been negative. So we're creating jobs every month,
Well, they're
supposedly.
also looking at they're also looking at inflation at 3.1%, and
Eric, that's
and
annualized at 3.6%. So that,
right.
how is that? It's double the target.
I think despite what they say, I think they're comfortable with those numbers.
Okay. Then we're gonna end up having 6%. I mean, what do you mean? How can they be comfortable? You can't be comfortable with 3.6% rise in inflation.
Well, they clearly are cutting rates, so they are comfortable with it.
Okay. They're cutting rates for the second. Okay. Doesn't mean
That's
they're
what I'm
gonna.
saying. The inflation target everybody thinks is 2%, but maybe it's not really 2%. Maybe they're discussing other inflation target. Maybe they're just ignoring the 2% as a kind of a pie in the sky kind of thing. Last time we had 2% was when uh, COVID, right after the crash, and
Let me
then
check for news. Yeah, there must be news out. Market rallied like, five handles on air. Would they do the trade deal? The deal's done. They did it. It's an amazing deal. I mean, it's you know what? The longer they don't do the trade deal, the higher the market will go. And then when they do the trade deal, the market will sell off. That's my thought. But talking about the Fed, I'm not quite sure. I mean, looking at the S&P, it's an amazing thing. And, there's obviously news in the tape right now. I don't know what it is. Touchdown T can't find it.
It's the housing, the Case Shiller report.
That's not why we rallied. I don't.
Came out in that.
Okay. I don't know. Case Shiller housing number was amazing. What was it? Amazing.
Marcus not going to rally on that.
That's what touchdown T is giving us. So I don't I would say it's something else, but we'll find it soon.
Maybe it's Air. Maybe Microsoft is up 4%. Maybe it's Microsoft.
No, I mean, but that was up this morning. I mean, I don't know, but let's look at like the stuff on the board, like oil back down to 60. Gold, which is your favorite, that you're, basically telling everyone to be in for life, is now down another. Last night it was down another $150. Don't worry, guys, you're good. Every day goes
Yeah,
down
so
150, you're
the
good.
five handle the move in the market was definitely Microsoft. OpenAI contracted to buy incremental $250 billion of Azure services. That's their
But can
cloud.
I ask you a question? And I'm being dead serious.
Where do they get the money?
Can
Here's
OpenAI do deals like this with every single firm, and the company doesn't even have. I mean, I don't even know what it has. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And every time they do a deal, the market explodes up like come on. Now you're going to find out they got to do a certain amount of business and they have to do a reverse jammy to go the other way. And, they're going to buy chips. If they buy chips, I mean, this guy, Sam Altman, is actually psycho. I mean, it's every day. I mean, he hasn't
he
done
may
anything.
be psycho. He may be psycho, but all these other firms are doing deals with him like every day. You don't think they
Well,
know
why
he's
wouldn't
psycho?
we? Can I ask you a question, honestly? Why wouldn't you do a deal with OpenAI when you are committing nothing? Basically, they're telling you that they're going to just hand you money, blah, 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 for doing this. Why? I'm just lost. Like, why would anyone say no? And how are they going to ever meet any milestone when this is like the beginning phase? Wait, so now they're in bed with Oracle. Okay. Now they're in bed with Microsoft. Now they're in bed with AMD and Nvidia and three other companies. I mean, come on. This is the
The entire
craziest
Mag
thing.
7,
And all this
they're
guy does is do the same thing every day. He hasn't even released any. Like, what does he release? Like, what are they doing? I know you say they're doing so much, but I don't know what they're doing. Like, I would love to see their. Hey, is there any way we can get their revenue? I'd love to know their revenue number. It's private and they probably will never tell anybody, but this is like so shades of the internet bubble that the market is reacting like this to what is it, a $250 billion deal? I don't know. I mean, how can that even be reality? They got 250 here, 500 there, 250 here. They're at like $4 trillion. I mean, how? Tell me how. Honestly, I'm being dead
I,
serious.
I can't. When you frame it that way, there's nothing I can answer. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, but I mean, I mean, come on, this is like the 10th company. Like, I don't know, how are they going to do so many chip deals with AMD and Nvidia, both? And every time they come out with with something, the market explodes up. I mean, it added more market cap in 10 minutes than the whole deal is added. So this is where we're at. We're in a froth bubble. um every day this guy might be the poster child for everything that's going to happen in my mind. um I mean, why is he doing deals every day and all the deals are in numbers that are astronomical, okay? Do you know what the earnings number the no, not earnings. Earnings is negative. Do you know what? Here we go. Do you know what the projected revenue number for OpenAI or whatever this guy's company is? Tell me. He just did a 250 billion or 500 billion dollar deal. Okay, he did a 200 billion dollar deal here, 500 here, 800 billion there. Tell me what his revenues are for the year for
You
OpenAI.
tell me.
No, no, I'm
You
I'm
tell
just
me.
you would think it would
I
be a
don't
couple
know.
of hundred. You would think it would be at least a couple of hundred billion, right? I mean, if they're
Yeah.
doing they're guaranteeing Microsoft 250 billion or whatever they're going to do, guaranteed. Why would Microsoft turn it down? So their projected revenues for the year. This is mind blowing right now, since it's one of your favorite companies. What do you think their projected revenue for the year is? Just give me an idea. 100
Ah,
billion, 200 billion.
just do me a favor, please. Tell us. I'm not going to guess the number.
13 billion in gross revenues, not profits, gross revenues. 13 billion, but they just did a deal for 250 billion. And they did a deal last week for 250 and another 400, another 200. This isn't getting you as the ultimate fraud of all time, literally of all time in the history of the market.
I just
They
don't
are
get
a $13
the
billion
market.
company.
Yeah, these things are crazy, but you know what? The market is made for investors, not for traders to make money. It's made for investors to. We're just part of the ride. So they want to bring things up to nosebleed. Let them do it.
I'm
Before I
not
ask you
saying
about the
that.
99
I'm just
bubble,
saying, Eric, I'm just saying to you
to
that
make
this
my
is
point, before I
this
asked
is
you about the 99 bubble, and I asked, what was there a specific thing that got it to pop, right?
no, but it's
And
this kind of
I
it's
asked, what, and there
I'm
wasn't. There
I'm
wasn't.
telling you. I'm
I
telling
saw a
you.
quote from David Einhorn, which I found very interesting, and he's like, it's still not clear why the internet bubble popped when it did. Our view is that it was due to the last buyer buying and the last short seller covering, a phenomenon that is very difficult to time. I think that was very well said. So
Okay. Well, listen, that guy's more bearish than anyone I know, actually, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that you got a company $13 billion in revenue. Now I'm relying on Touchdown T for that info.
It's a projection from July.
It's a projection for the year. Okay. And they're probably high. How could they be doing 250 billion here, saying they're going to do megawatts of energy? Okay, come on, dude. This is the poster child for this bubble. This is the poster child. Why is he doing deals every single week? every single week with the biggest companies in the world. Why? Why doesn't he just do one deal, follow it through, and see what happens? Why is he doing a million deals? Literally.
I think your real question is why isn't the market selling this?
Right. I don't know. Because you want to know why? There's no one here to sell. I'm being
So
dead
it's
serious.
yesterday I went to see a Nobel Prize winning behavioral economist, Richard Thaler. He wrote this book, this one right here, The Winner's Curse. So I love these kinds of topics on behavioral finance, and he started talking about the endowment effect, and I think the market actually does suffer from the endowment effect. They're unwilling to sell, right? So this is what you complain about on a daily. Like nobody wants to take a profit. And so the endowment effect is when you have something, you own something, you think it's more valuable than it actually is. So as the bull market goes on and on and on, this endowment effect gets bigger and bigger and bigger. People don't want to take a profit because
Why?
they think they have on their it's the endowment effect.
Well, what is the endowment effect? Like, listen,
It's also
I'll roll back. Let me roll back to 2008. Okay. I ran the endowment, okay, for a private organization who I won't say who it is, okay? I'm going to let you know in 2008 we were blown up to zero. Okay, they were funding education. They couldn't fund one thing. We were blown up. Okay, so the bottom line is what I'm trying to tell everybody out there is yes, this is amazing. You're making ungodly money on a daily basis, literally a daily basis. You're making ungodly money. It doesn't go on forever. And then the market flips from this to where you go into the Cheesecake Factory restaurant next to where my office building was, and they had 8 TVs at the bar showing CNBC to in 2009 only having ESPN. No one wanted to watch anything to do with financial markets. So just remember that the markets flip around, and to see the market rally 20 handles because OpenAI did some deal with Microsoft for $250 billion. Okay. They're just numbers. They can't do it. They can't do it. They're never going to have those revenues. They're going to do 13 billion and they're lucky if they even do that. I don't even know how they're making revenue, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know how they're making revenue. So the question is, you know, I understand why he's doing this, and I've seen the guy talk many times. He's the guy that's going to cause a blow up. Okay, he's very scary. This guy, very scary. He's very self-absorbed. He's very greedy. Okay, he seems a little off. Um, and this guy will go down with the ship, okay, without a doubt. Bullish the whole way. But my question is, dude, go back, tell me, go back to the OpenAI deals, how many they've signed in the last month. Dude, they've signed over $1 trillion of deals, way more. How are they going to honor that? How are they going to even come close?
I don't
And
know. Sam Altman Sam Altman scares you. You know what scares me? It's not Sam Altman. It's this chart right here. Sam Altman doesn't scare me.
why?
The margin debt, the speculative debt, traders, investors, they're using a lot of margin historically, and
But I'm
they're doing
asking,
it. That I think is more. I think that's more scary than Sam Altman.
dude, that number isn't even the true number because the true number now is not being shown because everybody's trading triple, quadruple, fivefold ETFs that don't show margin. Okay. So the bottom line is you don't have it, you don't have it on margin because you're buying the outright, but you're getting 5x leverage. Listen, this is what it is. You just Gotta respect it. But let's look at gold. The anatomy of gold. What happened in gold? Tell me what happened.
Uh, you know what happened.
What
Retail
happened?
got in. Retail tried to join the party, and I look. I was saying it. I was saying it before when I saw silver and AIQ start trading in lockstep. I'm like, they hijacked my trade. So yeah, you know what happened.
Yeah, but you were coming on saying this is investable, just sit in it. Now you're down 13, 14%. It might not go back 14% in the next 5 years. I'm not saying it will or it won't, but I mean, listen,
Actually, I think November, December is going to be a really nice month for gold.
why?
It's got the seasonality historically. I think it's going to finish strong.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm just looking at gold was up almost 70% for the year. It's now up 48%, 49. Last night it was down even more. Um, listen, why can't this happen in US? Why can't this happen in US equities? Like I'm just lost. Like I really am. I don't understand. I'm being dead serious. You got an S&P at 7,000 now. 7,000. I know it's going to 8,000, it's going to 9,000. Every day it's a different thing it's going to. And it's funny because today Nasdaq will underperform because the Dow is performing well. So Nasdaq should underperform. The Dow should be up, and the S&P will be in the middle. And all this is a computer going in and out of these trades. So we'll see. But I mean, to rally 15 SPU handles on a $250 billion OpenAI deal with Microsoft. They've done over $1 trillion of trade deals in the last month. A trillion for a $13 billion gross revenue company. You don't find that to be a little crazy? That they're buying it? That they believe that this company is going to be able to spend $1 trillion with all these companies?
Uh, do I find buy first, ask questions later to be a scary thing? Depends where in the cycle you are. Here, I don't know. I mean, there. This is
Wait
bull
a second.
mode.
Where do
This
you
is
think
bull
where do
mode.
you think we are in the cycle? We're definitely higher than the middle of the cycle. We've rallied 70% in the last 3 years. Now the guy, after a 70% rally in technology, maybe even more, okay, is now coming out with massive commitment deals to these companies. He's the guy making the commitment,
Yeah,
not
I mean, if you
Microsoft.
want to know where you are in the cycle, just look at how much good news is coming out. Well, and everything is good news. So
But why
we
is
can't
that?
be at
But
the
that's what
bottom
I'm
of the cycle.
saying. Why is
Probably
that
close
good news? Why is that good news? Because it hits the tape, people buy, they don't even know what the deal really is. Then an hour, 3 hours later, they look at what the deal is. But if you hit anything on the tape that says something in AI, the market explodes up. Okay. But what I'm saying to you is these are just pie in the sky things. And tomorrow, it probably won't be tomorrow, but in 3 days, he's going to do a deal with Meta, for
the
350
market loves
billion. What?
the market loves pie in the sky. They live for pie in the skies.
Okay, dude.
You know why? Because today's investor is actually, with all the information they have, with everything, I think today's investor has become more biased and less informed. And so people just love to trade on headline
Dude,
on a
the amount of froth and greed out there is at a level that I've
yeah,
never
it's
seen.
true. It's 100% true.
I
There's
mean, come
no
on.
rigorous securities analysis going on.
Well, what are you
They
talking about?
see the head.
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's it. That was my point.
No, but what I'm saying to you is if you called 50 of your friends and said, "Hey, Joey, you're up $18 on Microsoft. I think you should make a sale." They'll laugh in your face. You know where they're going to sell Microsoft? 200 lower than where it's trading right now. That's where the
Uh,
sales are coming. But to me, to watch us rally, and Thomas and I are looking around and we don't know what it is, and then it's OpenAI again with the same nonsense, and that rallies the market like this, it's a fraud. It's a fraud. I know they're doing a 250 deal. They're a $13 billion revenue company doing a $250 billion deal. They've done over $1 trillion of deals with different companies. Don't you think this is a recipe for failure? Honestly, no, it's not.
I don't think it's a recipe. I think it's an ingredient
Okay.
for failure. I don't think it's a recipe.
What if I tell you there's a large shot, okay, that OpenAI will not be in business 5 years from today? There's a real probability of that. There will be a player that comes along, whether it's coming from Tesla's, whatever his AI is, or whatever, that's going to overtake these guys with much smarter guys with less ego, and they will crush it. And my question to you is this: why wouldn't Microsoft do their own thing, hire their own people, and basically enter the AI race? Because as you know, ChatGPT is not very far advanced if they're only doing $13 billion in revenue. That's very tiny. Okay, so why doesn't Microsoft, do that?
I
So
mean, are you thinking they're trying to make as much revenue as they can right now?
who?
OpenAI.
Dude, they're not making any revenue. These are commitment deals in the future. They're not making revenue.
You're looking at how much
They're
revenue they're
committing
making.
they're
They're
committing
not.
revenue to Microsoft. They're committing revenue to AMD. They're committing revenue to Nvidia. Okay. And in return, if they meet those commitments, they'll do business with them. Okay. I mean, these guys have them over the barrel in my mind, but like, okay, they did a $250 billion deal with Microsoft. What are they giving them? That's what I'm trying to understand. I mean, it's a back and forth type of deal. They have to hit hurdles. Like that was the deal with Oracle. The deal went out like 20 years, right? Or 30 years. It's crazy. So I don't know. They're very excited. I'm going to short a little AI. What's the ETF in AI? I want to short a little AI today. What's it called? Do you know the ETF? Is it AI something?
AIQ is one that I
Okay.
follow.
AIQ. I'll look at that. But I just thought it was interesting, to see Cathie Woods, who's the biggest bull ever in the history of the market, basically be cautious. And like this to me is caution. Okay. Now, okay, they did a deal with Microsoft, they did a deal with AMD, they did a deal with Nvidia, they did a deal, with whoever, Oracle. They've done like 8 deals. Hold on, I'll tell you how many deals they actually have done. Okay. They've done 12 deals for over $1 trillion this year alone. Okay, what are they going to do? 13, 14, 15, 7? I mean, what do they got to do? I mean, don't they want to hit one goal? They don't want to hit one goal. They just want to keep doing deals with different people. It's a little scary. And then what's Elon's AI company called? What is it? AIQ? XAI. How come XAI isn't doing what this guy Sam Altman, who's what do they call it, a carnival salesman? Why aren't they doing one deal, Eric? How come they haven't done any of these deals?
I don't know. You ask good questions. I don't know.
No,
You
I'm
just
just
don't.
saying because you want to know what, they're real. This guy's not real. He's going to do deal after deal after deal. These stocks are adding, he's going to do a $250 billion deal, of which is in the future, maybe, and Microsoft will rally $100 billion in a day off that. So I don't know. This is where we sit. Be careful out there. We're really close to the opening. Fed meeting tomorrow. Very quiet in general. That's what
I just
I
want to leave off with one thing that I'm looking at just real quick.
sure.
All year long, chasing the trade to make was chasing high flying stocks. They go up, you can buy them, they'll go up more. What hasn't been working is buying low. This is a chart of S&P 500 stocks relative to their 52-week high. So the lower they are from that point, meaning The more they got hit, you try to buy them. That strategy has not been working. What I'm noticing now is stocks like UPS, which just had a blowout earnings, completely surprised Wall Street. UPS is one of them. There's a few of these that have been really hit that actually look pretty damn good right now. So maybe the internal trade is about to shift where you can start looking at some value on names that are trading um, close or below their 52-week lows and highs.
Hmm. All right.
That's
Well,
it.
listen, I agree with that, but that trade has not worked and probably
No, it
will.
is not at all.
It
At all.
probably will not work because listen, now 7 stocks equate 40% of the index, basically, and 10 are close to 50. So I mean that to me is crazy. And one day, it's not going to be today, but one day all of these stocks are going to be down a lot in one day, and you're going to see the index have an outsized move. But right now, everything is intact. We got the Fed tomorrow. We got the trade deal being signed on Thursday, and we'll see if all of those things give the market, what they need. And right now, the Nasdaq is 65% off the low of the move. So, I think that we're in a interesting setup. But tomorrow I'd like to talk a little bit because it's a Fed day and it's usually a pretty relaxed day before the Fed. A little bit because we didn't get into it today about similarities between this and 99 2000 because I'm starting to see some stuff and I want to discuss that tomorrow, but we're only 4 minutes from the opening. I hope everybody got something from this today, and I wish everyone luck trading, and we'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy.